Hello, hello, hello. So today I'm painting Tyranids. This is the old Termagant My High Fleet paint scheme. It's kind of dark. Let's see if I can do something about that camera. Very dark. But I have like a gloss coat, and it's kind of Stoic green based with a gray wash over it. But I've been kind of reworking my scheme. Because I came up with this when I was like a kid. And I've evolved it a bit. So I'm taking... It'll read the same once it's all done to the eye, but kind of simplifying the gray step a little bit by doing Thunderhawk Blue, which is kind of a bluish gray. So that's the first step to my carapace. Takes about 2 thin coats. And I'm just using have a bigger brush for that. And trying to knock this out as quick as possible. So a lot of termagants. These new Gaunt models are pretty awesome. They have a lot of detail. I think contrast paints would work really well for these new Tyranids. A lot of nooks and crannies. So contrast paints can do their thing. I will not be using contrast paints though. But there's nothing wrong if you want to. I use contrast paints for other stuff. Just not for my Tyranids. So I don't think any really fit my scheme. Everything will look a little too out of place if I kind of switch it up that much. So I have quite a bit already painted. And my improved carapace recipe is already different enough where it will be noticeable, but it'll still kind of blend together with everything else. At least that's what I'm hoping. Slowly going over all the carapace. Nice and watered down, but not too watered down. Going all over. And I think with painting Tyranids, batch painting is where it's at. Otherwise, you'll never finish. I'm all about practicality. Something that looks good, but that you can paint a lot of. More elite armies, put some more time into your models since you don't have hordes of them to paint. So by the time one side is dry, it's ready for a second coat, which goes on pretty quick in comparison. I always find that putting a second coat on goes much quicker than the first. Oh, my neck. Hey, Scott. How's it going? You working on anything tonight? I am doing fantastic. I'm super excited. We got those new Tyranid reveals. Can't wait to get my hands on those. Screamer Killer base, nice. Doing anything special with it? Yeah, I took one of those extra Gene Stealer infestation nodes and put it on my Screamer Killer base. Since you have like a million of them over time. My favorite of the new models. Well, I'm gonna have to go with Norn Emissary. Or the Norn, what's it called? Norn Eliminators, Assassin, whatever. I forget the name of the alternate build, but yeah, those are super cool. Can't wait to get some Primarch-sized Tyranids. Build those up. I mean, honestly, they were all really awesome. Hormagaunts look great. Although, I don't know if I'll be getting any of those because I have like 40 of the older style. And I think I'm just gonna upgrade the base size so they match. New Gene Stealers also look great. Don't know if I'll be getting any of those as well. Similar situation, I just have too many already. The old style Gene Stealers. But yeah, the Lictors, they look great. And the Biovores and the Pyrovores also look great. I'll be getting a couple of those, I think. I'm wondering how magnetizable they'll be. Just reshaping the rock and making it fit the rest of my army. Nice. Yeah, these new Tyranids are really cool. I kind of find some of all the little extra details on their bases a little annoying just because it's something else I have to paint. It's a little bit different than how I've been basing my whole army. It's fine. It's just kind of a minor annoyance, but at the same time, it is really cool to have, those cool detailed bits on the bases that you see with like a lot of the other newer armies or newer models, especially Space Marines. They got lots of base decorations, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like those little baby spore spire things on their bases. It's like, ugh, that's cool, but I have to paint that. So I'm looking at a table full of primed minis for this swarm. It's just so much to paint. But it's all good. I like it. Right? Yeah. The Nero Tyrant. It's got so much stuff on the base. It looks like the Gene Stealer Cult Broodlord base. Or not Broodlord, Patriarch base. It's got like that pipe and all this stuff on there. It's like he's in the sewers or something. But yeah, Nero Tyrant kind of gives off similar vibes. It's cool, but I guess it's in a city ruin now. Also, I found that model kind of hard to paint. Um, but a trick I did was not glue it together so that I could paint it in a sub-assembly. It's kind of the nice thing about some of these push-to-fit models is they go together and come apart nice and easy so you can do sub-assemblies. Yep. So, how long have you been collecting Tyranids? I think the Norn Emissary, if I had to guess, is going to be probably about the size of Mortarion or one of the other Primarchs, like Mortarion or Magnus the Red or Angron. If I had to guess, it looked like it was about that size or like the size of the Dimakaron. I could be wrong though. I thought the Nero Tyrant was going to be a lot bigger. But I think the Tyranids are due for a new big super monster, and I think it looked like Norn Emissary is going to be pretty big. Slightly smaller than a knight? Yeah, probably a little bit. Like somewhere between a war dog and a knight. I guess we'll have to see though when it comes out. I could be totally wrong. Um, I'm sure there'll be lots of videos online about people analyzing the pictures and doing size comparisons of known, size of things and getting a pretty good estimate. What are the thoughts on the new Death Leaper? His kind of cape thing. Hive mind we pray. Yes. Absolutely. Alright, 3 down. 7 to go. Meh. Yeah, I was kind of mad about it too. I think the more I see it, the more I like it. It kind of, instead of thinking of it like a cape or a like a peacoat, it kind of, you could think of it like kind of like like a octopus or something. It kind of has like an octopusy look to it, and it helps me like it more than thinking of it like clothing, because clothing in Tyranids is kind of dumb. I do like the idea of running a kind of vanguard army. That's all like the lictors and the gene stealers. Now they have that new neural lictor. I'm not really sure what role that thing has, other than like a deep striking psyker maybe, or psyker assassin. That'd be cool if it has like some psychic attack that has precision, so you can kill characters. Or like if it can deep strike closer than 9 inches. I always like that kind of stuff. But it's a good time to be a Tyranid player, that's for sure. A lot of cool stuff. Talking about bases, extras. Yeah, they got like that. I don't know what they're standing on, but it looks like some like Tyranid bio structure thing. Or maybe it's like part of a carcass or something. I don't know. It looks cool though. I guess it's something to fill in that big base, because sometimes big bases can look pretty bare if you don't put extra bits on them. I'm just excited that the Tyranids actually won the battle for Ogrim. I was kind of surprised. Just kind of goes to show how much people want to see new Tyranid stuff. I mean, I have a confession. I did not play a game and submit my results. I just voted. Which I'm pretty sure 90% of the people just did that. Ain't the gun. Yeah. I was expecting Ultramarines to win. I mean, I think that the new Terminator captain has a name, and they gave a name to the lieutenant in the Leviathan box. I'm sure they made it out okay. Wouldn't want anything bad to happen to them. But I'll take a win. But I gotta find some more shelf space, because there's a lot of cool new stuff coming out. I also gotta get painting. I got quite the backlog. It is very hard to keep up with all the releases. I think they're going too fast. Although I've been saying this for a while. It's impossible to keep up. especially if you play multiple armies. Especially if you also want to play kill team. It can be overwhelming at times, and it shouldn't be that way because it's a hobby. It's supposed to be something fun and relaxing. Shouldn't be stressful. What's my backlog? I got some Tyranid stuff. I got some warriors and some raveners. I got the Marines half of Leviathan. I got another Tyranids half of Leviathan. I split that with my buddy. I got a few issues of Imperium. Got some Necron stuff. Have some Eldar stuff I need to get to. A couple squads of that. Some Aspect Warriors and Fire Prism. I also got some second-hand Wraith Guard that I need to paint. Although Eldar stuff goes pretty quick for me. I mainly just do contrast paint with those and a couple highlights. Not going all out. And then I have a ton of Gene Stealer Cult stuff that's still in the box. That I have maybe about 1,500 points of Gene Stealer Cult. So I'm kind of slowly working on that. But that's like my showcase army, where I put like all my effort into the paint job for that. So they take a really long time to paint. I'll get back to them eventually. And then also I got a little bit of Chaos Space Marines. I will also get to one day. I want to start a Chaos army. I think that'd be fun. But primary focus right now is Tyranids and Eldar. And some of the new Space Marine stuff, I think. I got a pretty good sized Necron force. Not in a huge hurry to keep filling that out. Although if I were to get like a monolith or one of those big Necron models, I might jump that up in my backlog just to get that out quicker. The old pile of shame, as they call it. Although some of my friends call it the pile of opportunity, which I like better. It sounds nicer. And then on top of that, I also play Battlefleet Gothic. So I've been 3D printing ships for that. So this is a Tyranid Hive ship. You can put the weapons in there. So I have a whole Tyranid Swarm fleet that I need to paint. So that's an old out-of-print game. But it's got a strong community following, and they got the rules online, and there's a ton of really good 3D models for proxies that people have made. So I've been slowly getting more of that stuff built up. Yeah, Tyranids are my main jam. It's my very first army in 40k that I started back in 4th edition. Yeah, 4th edition 40k and Old World Fantasy. Good times. Anybody got many games of 10th edition in yet? I probably played about maybe 5 to 10 or so. I try to get at least one game in every week. Still trying to get all the little subtle changes in the rules down. I think overall, I am positive about it. I do miss some things, some of the little tweaking options, like for loadouts of squads and points per model. I think I'm going to miss points per model the most. So we're essentially playing with power level, just a little bit more granular. Yeah, that's a story here. Yeah, a lot of my friends, they have young ones, so they don't get out as much as they like to, or if they do, it's like really late at night, and then they're just sleep deprived at the cost of a Warhammer game. Yeah, no children for me yet, but I'm sure once that comes down the road, I'll have to cut back on some of my hobby time. But that's just part of life. Priorities. Yeah, I've been trying out the new Crusade rules. So far, I'm really liking it. The missions seem really interesting and fun. I've only played one Crusade game so far, but so far it's really fun. I'm actually doing a narrative campaign on the channel. The first episode of that will be going live shortly, probably sometime tomorrow, once everything processes. If not tomorrow, it will be live on Monday. Looking forward to doing more narrative stuff on the channel. Because let's not lie here, I'm not top tier competitive. So I know some people really like to watch battle reports that are, you know, tournament style, meta, min-maxing. There's a few channels that do kind of more casual. And that's definitely my style, is kind of casual, fluffy lists. I really like narrative, so I'm going to try to do more narrative stuff on the channel. I think that'll be more interesting and enjoyable. Alright, 5 down. 5 to go. So, do we do batch painting or painting models one by one? See, for me, when it's a brand new unit I've never painted before, I'll paint one model just to get the scheme down from start to finish, even the base, and then make sure I like it. And then I'll go back and paint the rest, and I'll do those in a batch usually, because then by then I've got the process down and usually knock them out pretty efficiently. Same with the moment. Yeah. I lurk a lot on Reddit, and I see a lot of people posting, and it looks like they're either just really new, but it's like they paint the models one at a time, and that's probably the most inefficient way to get an army painted. But I'm sure they'll learn soon enough. It can be overwhelming and daunting painting for the first time. I just wish that I had YouTube when I first started years ago. Because I would have learned a ton and I would have been a such better painter. So I had a lot of catching up to do. Yep. Just now I'm doing Gaunts, 3 Hive Guard, and a Screamer Killer. Wow. Nice. Is this your first Tyranid army? Are you adding to an existing force? Like, did you just start with the Leviathan box? No games there. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of a nice thing too, though. You do get a game schedule that really gives you some incentive and motivation to kind of get stuff table ready. Like me personally, I prefer to, I mean, I think a lot of people prefer to play with a painted army. For my own army, I won't play with it until it's painted. And that's just to kind of keep me focused and motivated to keep finishing models. I definitely wouldn't hold that standard to my opponent. I'll play great armies any day. That's just for my stuff. I'll only play with it painted. Second time around with the Nids. Nice. What made you leave and what made you come back to them? 4,000 inch points for the little man. Wife was moaning, just sitting in storage. Oh, oh no. Oh, that's too bad. I hear you though. I mean, I got some old stuff from Warhammer Fantasy in storage. It's just in storage. I'm probably not going to play Fantasy anytime soon. I might try Old World when it comes out, but I don't know. Probably not. I just don't know if I can commit and go through that all again. When we went to the nursery, I have a lot more free time, and the new Leviathan drew me back in. Nice. Excellent. Welcome back to the Hive Mind. Yeah, I probably started Tyranids back in 2005, I want to say. Maybe 2004. It's probably like 13 or 14 at the time. And then I also played Lizardmen in Warhammer Fantasy prior to getting into 40k. So I played both of those games for a few years and then kind of went into a hiatus when I went to college. And only kind of recently picked up 40k again. About 2.5 years ago. Wasn't really doing a whole lot of gaming. Tabletop gaming, that is. I had some X-Wing stuff. I played that for a little while. That was fun. But I never was really hardcore into that. It was funny, though. I got this board game, Aliens. Another Glorious Day in the Core. And I started painting the miniatures for that. I was like, you know what? I really miss painting Warhammer. So I started looking online to see what was going on with Warhammer. And I saw that 9th edition was out. It had been out for like a year. They still had Indomitus boxes for sale. So I looked at my Tyranid stuff. I'm like, oh, I guess a lot of this is still all valid. So Let's get some Space Marines and some Tyranids. I guess I'll start some Necrons too because they come in Indominus. And yeah, I've been hooked. Been doing this a lot in my free time ever since. No regrets. Made some friends. Got kind of hooked up with the local community. It's been great. Part of me is glad. New paint scheme, fresh start, and I don't have any old gaunts to get rid of. Yeah. Yeah, that's my problem too. I got I mean, I've made some improvements to the paint scheme I did as a child. Like I added some highlights, but this is pretty much it. Sotek green, and then I made my own gray wash that goes over it. Kind of didn't really know what I was doing, but it's kind of what I was painting my army, so I just kind of carried on. Even though I feel like I've gotten much better as a painter, but consistency was really important to me, so I just kind of kept my old scheme. But I think I found a new way to make the old scheme look fresh again. 1 second. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like when they're all done. So it's, instead of this bright Sotek green with a gray wash, I'm doing Thunderhawk blue and then building up some gray highlights. And you can see it almost reads as the same scheme, but it looks a little bit crisper and sharper, and I think the highlights pop a little bit more darker too, more neutral colors. So I'm excited. I kind of found this new carapace scheme, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Unfortunately, I came up with this new scheme after I had painted everything else from Leviathan in my old one, but I have a whole nother half paint up, so I'll probably just paint them up with the new carapace scheme. But it's not too different, so I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Something that'll only really bother me. But I'm more excited to paint Tyranids now because I actually like the way they're turning out, and I'm not just kind of replicating my old paint scheme. I love you picked out the vents with purple. Really makes it... Yeah. Yeah, that's like one thing I did as a kid, and I saw that that wasn't something you'd really seen much. I was just trying to like find another color to slap on there. I wanted them to look dark, kind of like the Xenomorph from Alien. So I just did like a black undercoat, and then I dry brushed where is it? Elysian green. There you are. Did a dry brush of this, and then when it's all done, I do a really watered down art coat, gloss varnish over the skin, so it makes them look like they're kind of wet and alien-like. And that's something I've been doing this whole time, and I think I'm gonna keep that up. Although I've been watering it down more to make it a little less intense. So what color are your Tyranids? Are you painting a hive fleet, or are you making a custom hive fleet? Custom, nice. Custom's fun. I usually paint most of my armies. I actually paint kind of official colors, except for my Tyranids. I just feel like Tyranids lend themselves so well to custom colors, and there's like plenty of lore reasons why you would have alternate color schemes, and they're all sorts of different colors to begin with. And I guess I wasn't too crazy about like the Leviathan colors. I really like the Kraken colors back in like 3rd edition Tyranids. Behemoth is pretty cool too, but I just like kind of darker, more alien, scary looking Tyranids. High Flute Behemoth, Coconut Crab. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I see a lot of Coconut Crab schemes. Those always look really cool. They look like a lot of work, though. Although not as crazy as some pictures I've seen posted of, like, someone will post, like, a Termagant, and they'd be like, this is my first Termagant, and it looks amazing, right? But I'm just thinking, like, okay, now do 100 more. It's all about finding the right balance of quality and quantity and how much you can crank out. I guess it depends on your goals, though. I mean, if you want to have models, painted models to play with, then probably gonna be like me and want something that looks kind of like maximizing the most bang for your buck without sacrificing too much on, you know, paint quality. Or if you just want something table ready, you know, maybe all contrast paints is just fine and that'll get you there. Or maybe you don't play and you just want to paint models. I guess you can take your sweet time and do whatever you want. So it's like High Fleet Behemoth. So you're gonna have red, and then is the carapace gonna be dark, and then kind of spot in the coconut crab spots, or I'm trying to think, what is it? It's kind of like a main stripe that goes down the center, and then you kind of do like the dot pattern along the sides of it. Those look pretty slick though. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, cool. I'm sure a High Fleet Behemoth coconut crab will look very interesting. Any coconut crab scheme looks interesting. Super eye-catching. A lot of color. And green like you as a spot color. Oh, nice. Like in the little vents, or oh, as the spots. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can do like a red body and kind of like blue. Are you gonna leave the carapace black and then do like the behemoth blue down the center with like green spots? I'm really curious as to like the specifics of this scheme. Sounds really interesting. feel like I'm getting a little faster at this. The old assembly line's paying off. Yeah, I need to figure out what to do about my old gaunts that are on the smaller bases. I know most people won't care. Um, the base size is very close to what the new one is, but the OCD in me wants to make everything up to par with the standards. I found some resin base rims that you can put over the 25s and it makes them the 28s. Printed a few of those off today, so I'll have to see how easily those will go on. Maybe I'll just kind of stick with the Hormagaunts for now. Also, kind of annoying, I got the... So back in the day, they sold the Termagants and the Hormagaunts in a box of 16, where you got 8 of each. So I had 2 of those, so I have 18 or 16 Hormagaunts and 16 Termagants. Okay. And then I just had those forever, and then when I got back in the 40k, I bought another box of Hormagaunts. So I have 28. So I'm just too shy of a full-size unit of 10 or 20. So I 3D printed 2 Hormagaunts. I found a pretty decent looking proxy, so I printed 2 of those. I'll have to paint them up. I normally don't 3D print stuff that are very essentially copies of, you know, Citadel models, but it's just 2 gaunts, right? I'll probably get a box of the new ones anyways at some point, but just not anytime soon. Besides, I'd rather focus on getting some stuff I don't have, like Biovores, Pyrovores, Norn Emissary, those new lictors. I have an old metal lictor. I got the old metal Carnifex. Kind of looks like a beetle. Do you magnetize your Tyranids? I ended up magnetizing. I got a Carnifex brood and I magnetized the entire thing. It was a lot of work, but totally worth it, in my opinion. It's so fun building a list and being like, I think I want to make a shooty Carnifex, or give this one crushing claws, or oh, I should make this one a screamer killer. It was perfect when the 9th edition Tyranid Codex came out and they added the screamer killer datasheet. I was like, wow, these things are really good. And I had all these magnetized Carnifexes, so I just ran mine all as screamer killers like practically the whole time they had the new codex. So I wonder how magnetizable the new stuff is going to be. Like if it's possible to have the Norn Emissary and the Norn Assassin? Norn... I always forget what it's called. I used to not had to with Leviathan yet. Yeah, yeah, Leviathan. You just kind of have the one build option. Although it looks like we're getting some new Termagant weapons. Like the spine rifle, the barb gaunt gun, and oh, there was something else. In addition to the Devourer. I was thinking I'll probably just end up kit bashing those, or maybe sculpting a special weapon or something. I'm assuming those are special weapons, like one gaunt out of the 10 can take that. So I got upgrade. I'll see when that new datasheet comes out. Yeah, I mean, if you're just starting off Tyranids now, it's a great time with all the new models. It's kind of like me for Necrons. I have just like all new Necron stuff instead of any of the old Necron warriors with like the plastic green tube and the gun. Although, I think that looks kind of cool, but the new Necrons do look awesome. Yeah, so it looks like Tyranid warriors are safe as far as like not getting a new model anytime soon. Um, Also Zoanthropes, although I wouldn't expect a new one of those. Um, and the Horusbucks and the Exocrine. Although it looks like the Horusbucks is actually pretty decent in 10th edition. So I'm really glad I magnetized my Horusbucks Exocrine kit. Because now I'll probably be running that as a Horusbucks more. Which I'm totally okay with because I think that is just a super cool model. And I didn't get to use him as much in 9th edition just because he wasn't as good. That's the nice thing about new editions. Kind of brings new life to older stuff that's been on the shelf for a while. Case in point, the Chaos Defiler. It's pretty good. Just played against that the other day. So that's good. Alright, 2 to go on the carapace. First step. I gotta do a wash, and then I gotta start the gray highlights. And then all the other little details. We'll see how far I get on these tonight. Gonna need a little bit more paint. Yeah, so I probably played, let's see, 3, maybe 6 or 7 games at 10th so far. My win record has not been very good. I think I've only won 2 of those games. But I don't know. I was just mainly trying out stuff. I didn't really put much effort into my lists, much thought. Yeah, just kind of. It's so hard for me to gauge what's actually good looking at all the data sheets because everything is like updated at once with the indexes, and the game rules have changed, so it's kind of trying to get a feel for all the changes and how units perform. So they're pretty exploratory games for me, but yeah, I've only won 2 of them. One of them actually is on the channel as a battle report against the Chaos Knights. Kind of accidentally made a really good anti-knight list with Zoanthropes. They're nasty, absolutely nasty. You can get 6 of them for only 180 points, and they can do the focused psychic blast, which is essentially a las cannon, and it will absolutely destroy. There's my nids, yeah. But yeah, that battle ended. It was kind of a blowout, and try not to do matchups that are going to be blowout like that, because sometimes, I mean, those can be fun every now and then, but I think close games, or at least better matched up lists for battle reports, are a little bit more interesting and more fun to watch as a viewer. So I'm gonna try to make sure we get some better matchups in the future, or at least do a double check of the list, make sure like, is this gonna be too OP? Yeah, I mean, 3 Zoanthropes are nasty, 6 is just ridiculous. And it's all because I wanted to use my Screamer Killer, the new one, but I didn't have him finished painted. So I was like, oh, what else is 180 points? Oh, Zoanthropes. Let's see how good they are. I didn't even look at their data card. We start playing. We get to the first shooting phase, and I'm just like, oh, these are really good. Shoot. It's not fun being tabled, and it's not fun tabling someone. I mean, unless you're in a tournament setting, then yeah. Well, it's still not fun being tabled, but I feel like that's the only time where it's like appropriate and you should expect to be tabled. But yeah, not in a friendly game, so I don't feel the greatest about that one. But it's learning experience, Warhammer can be tricky like that when you have to self-balance it at times. For friendly games. But like they always say, it's about the people you play with and not the game itself. That's what makes it the funnest. Hi, Avery. How's it going? Did I see the guy at Vanguard Tactics played? No, I did not. Well, I saw he appeared on Mini Wargaming. I think he played Mini Wargaming Matthew with his Tyranids. I'm sure he's played other games since. Guy was cheating constantly. Oh, man. Like, on camera? Oh, Avery, you got a new figure. What'd you get? It's lewd. Of course it is. A lewd anime figure. Great. On camera. It's funny. I recorded a game. I was playing my cousin. He plays the Imperial Guard. And I I was like narrating what I was doing, and I grabbed the wrong amount of dice, and like completely, you know, screwed up some rolls. Um, and I had some comments calling me out saying that I was cheating, and I was just like, "What?" Totally unintentional. Yeah, I don't know if you ever watch any of my battle reports, but if I make a mistake, let me know. One day we'll play a perfect game of Warhammer. But that's funny. Why did you cheat your cousin? I didn't cheat my cousin. Oh, you sent me a snap. Is that the anime figure? Oh, did you get a Lord of the Rings Lego? That's pretty cool. Box wine. Yes. The box, yes, the box wine. It's good for sipping. No, but it's funny. Can you send me a picture of it in your Snapchat? I want to see this figure you bought. It's gonna go on the shelf. Yeah, those Lord of the Rings Legos are pretty sweet. I have a little bit of a Lego collection. I'm something of a collector myself. It's going right in the living room. I'm sure it is. I mean, when is anime not lewd? Yeah, Scott, you'll have to send me a link to that battle report where the guy's cheating on camera of Vanguard tactics. That sounds really entertaining. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. You just have to remember that that character is that. So is that from the Evangelion movie where she is older than 18? That's where anime gets weird sometimes. Anyways, working on the last one. Almost done with that first coat. So much detail. I just realized they have these little like carapace pieces on their chest, and I've not been painting them. Do I go back and try to touch in there? The answer is yes. I will try. Ever so carefully. I hate that though. When I'm doing a batch and I come across a piece and it's like I forgot to paint something on their arm or something like obvious. I have to like go back and get that color out again and touch it up. We're gonna watch the Black Demon. Snack shop was a bust. Oh, that's too bad. Alright, well you have fun watching your movie. Or anime, whatever you're watching. I will continue doing this. Thanks for popping in to say hi. Oh, it's a shark movie. Of course it is. I should have known. Is it Shark Week? I thought that was in August. Of course. Live every week like it's Shark Week. Alright, gonna quick touch up that little chest piece I missed. Yoink. Ah! Maybe I can do this better by hand. Just because that paint handle gets in the way sometimes. Yeah, that's in August, but the movie has been on our watch list for a while. It's finally on streaming. Okay, okay. Well, let me know how it is. I hope it's not too scary. Man, this is so hard to get to. They're holding their guns right across their chests. Some more extra detail that the old Termagants sure didn't have. How many am I? I am painting 10. A batch of 10. I got 20 more in that box of just these guys. Can't have too many little Gribblies. 10, yes, 10 at once. My hands hurt thinking about doing that. Yeah, well, you get used to it. Put on an audiobook, some music, go to town. This is the Tyranids Swarm life. You got lots of models to paint. That's just how it is. Gribblies, yeah, these are Gribblies. These little guys. No, these are called Termagants. But we Tyranid players refer to the little guys as Gribblies, and then you got the big monsters as monsters, right? These are like the cannon fodder troops. Little Gribblies. And we also got these little Gribblies. They are literally little Gribblies. These are called Ripper Swarms. But they are Gribbly. Ah. Gribbly sounds so weird. It's like an endearing term for them, you know? I should paint my Ripper Swarms while I'm at it. Our evil sperm... I mean... They kind of look like that, I suppose. If you want to go that route. So they come through after the main swarm has killed everything, and they eat what's left. Isn't that nice? You go what route? Oh, I see. I remember. I remember what you're talking about now. Yep. Context. I got a delay. It's yeah, they're like the cleaning guys. They take care of all the dead bodies. And then they eat up all the biomass of the dead, and they drag them to pools where they collect the biomass of all the dead, and then the hive ships send down these big straws from outer space, and they suck it up, and by the time the Tyranid swarm leaves a planet, it is a barren wasteland, and everything living has been consumed. And then they take that biomass to make more Tyranids. They eat planets whole. Scary stuff, I know. Can we make them little bibs? No. No, we cannot. Because Tyranids do not wear clothing. They're very animalistic, kind of. Being controlled by one intelligent hive mind. I know you're just heckling me, but, you know. I'm sure I've heckled you before. It's okay if they get full of goop. I mean, they like jump into the reclamation pits and die when they're done eating. I mean to my Griblies, yes. I suppose I am. And, you know, it's just a circle of life, you know? Sometimes nature is cruel. I didn't make up the rules. Two thin coats. Go watch your movie. Black Demon or whatever it's called. But thanks for popping in. Ah. Is that code for pooping? Sunflowers. Everything's thirsty. Hasn't rained in like weeks. Gross. Why'd you say they? Alright, love you too. Thanks for popping in. All right. I think we'll keep this going another 10 minutes or so. Maybe wrap her up around, yeah, another 10 minutes. This has been fun. I want to try to do this a little bit more frequently than I have been in the past. The whole streaming thing. I think I got a pretty good setup going for it. Figured out the technical side of things. So it's just a matter of doing it. Alright, so next step, I do Null Oil Wash over all the carapace. Making sure it gets in the cracks under the folds of the carapace. I'm so excited about this new scheme. The new old scheme. Can't wait to get some of those new models and try this out on them. It's gonna look really cool. Best part is I don't have to be super neat because the skin is so dark. Just gotta get the wash on there, make sure it's, you know, the recesses. Just kind of darken up that bluish gray a little bit. This is some decent music, I'm not gonna lie. It's just like royalty free stuff. But I'm digging it. Get my groovy funk on. Paint those new bugs. Woohoo. I almost spilled my non oil. Haven't done it yet. I'm not a real painter. You're not a real painter when you spill the non oil. Not yet. Knock on wood. Oh man, next part is the highlights on the carapace. Just gonna power through it though. Get her done. Yeah, it's starting to look nice. Nice and dark. So tone down that vibrant color. Feels good to paint Tyranids again. Not having it feel like a chore. Oh. Yet. I'll see if I get sick of it. Oh, I love this song. Great for reveals. And darken up these rippers. So epic. Some of this generic soundtrack music is pretty darn good. Not gonna lie. Alright. The Null Oil wash is complete. And I think so is this stream. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me. I painted up some of these Tyranids, made some progress. I'll probably continue this once the stream ends. See how much more I can do tonight. I got a new battle report coming out this weekend. Probably tomorrow or Monday. Watching a narrative campaign. Really excited about that. So stay tuned. Alright, well. Adios.